Russell Westbrook versus James Harden. Let's get into it.
Fight!
Russ was drafted 4th overall in 2008. Harden was drafted 3rd overall in 2009. Both to the same franchise, which just so happened to draft Kevin Durant. You know, as a co-star. Early in their careers on the Thunder, Westbrook was the starting point guard and Harden took the role of 6-man. Talk about a talented squad. After only a few seasons of development, the OKC Thunder found themselves in the 2012 NBA Finals. They were one series away from completing a full rebuild, boasting some of the most promising talent in the NBA. But after falling to the juggernaut Miami Heat in a less than competitive 4-1 series, it's no exaggeration to say that the entire future of the NBA was changed. Winning this title not only would have kept LeBron from winning his first ring, but it would have likely sparked an OKC Thunder dynasty and may have even derailed the Warriors dynasty before it really got cooking. But let's get back to these guys. Westbrook has a clear performance advantage at this point in his career, averaging 27, 6, and 7 in 42 minutes per game in this finals. While Harden, albeit as a 6-man, only averaged 12, 5, and 4 in 33 minutes per game. During that offseason, Harden rejected a 4-year, $55 million offer from the Thunder and was traded to the Rockets, who signed him to a 5-year, $80 million contract. Talk about betting on yourself. That decision might have ultimately doubled his net worth compared to if he had stayed with the Thunder for an extended contract. So that left Westbrook and KD to go out and try to win a championship without him. Spoiler alert, they couldn't even make an NBA Finals, ultimately blowing a 3-1 lead in the 2016 Western Conference Finals to a team that made people forget about that because they blew that same lead to the Cavs that year in the Finals. We all know what happens next, but at this point, how are Westbrook's numbers looking? Wow, 24, 8, and 10 playing alongside a dude who's an all-time great scorer is pretty insane. So right now, I gotta give the edge to Westbrook, but Harden's about to get his chance to shine. Real quick, this is the part of the video where I tell you that literally nobody who watches my videos is subscribed. So hit that button if you never want to see my videos again. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe later. Kinda hoping that you do. Anyways, after being traded to the Rockets in 2012, we saw Harden's numbers explode. 25 points per game, then 27, 29, 30, 36? People were having serious conversations about this dude being a better scorer than Michael Jordan. And if you were a fan of basketball during the James Harden Rockets era, you would know that he was literally playing 4D chess offensively. Do you remember how many free throws he shot per game? Well, it was a lot. How in fuck's name was this dude ever a 6th man? He won the MVP in 2018, the year after Westbrook won. In the playoffs though, Harden is different. Not different like built different. More like 13 turnovers in a game, can't make an NBA Finals, can't really tell when he's gonna show up. Different. That being said, you can argue that the greatest playoff achievement of James Harden's career was losing a 7-game conference finals to the KD Golden State Warriors back in 2018. Looking back on it, if Harden had managed to keep that team from getting to an NBA Finals, that may have gone down as one of the greatest achievements in sports history. But you could say the same thing if Coach played Uncle Rico in the state championship game in the 4th quarter. It just didn't happen. Anyways, how's Russ doing? I mean, obviously not well. His team just lost, at the very least, a top 3 player in the league. And now he's being asked to have the ball like 95% of the time with a less than stellar team to pass it to. Even if he manages to pull off the backpack job of the millennium, it's going to be short-lived, and he's going to gas out very quickly. Psych! Turns out, that's Brody's greatest quality. He doesn't gas out. Might have the single greatest high-gear motor in the history of sports. And even though he had no playoff success to speak of whatsoever after KD left, it wouldn't be crazy to call Westbrook's regular season production as the main guy in OKC historically great. Like, holy shit, he averaged a triple-double all 3 seasons before he left. A feat accomplished only one previous season by Oscar Robertson, which was so long ago that MLK hadn't even delivered his I Have a Dream speech yet. He also won the 2017 MVP award on a 6th-seeded Thunder team, which is a feat that's about the same rarity level as averaging a triple-double. So at this point, it's close. Westbrook has more regular season success, Harden has more postseason success, and both could retire and be Hall of Famers. I'm gonna give the edge to Harden though, because postseason success weighs very heavily to me when considering someone's greatness. But we still have a good few years before we've made it to current day. Russ can still pull ahead. Russ and Harden found themselves on the same team once again in 2019, but this time it was Harden's team. Even though Russ averaged an impressive 27-8-7, Harden averaged 34-7-7. That was an odd season because of the pandemic, and they ended up losing a second-round playoff series in the bubble to the Lakers 4-1. Needless to say, the Rockets have been abysmal ever since. Russell Westbrook was traded to the Wizards, and James Harden forced his way off the team and got traded to the Nets. This started a trend of that sort of behavior from Harden, which I believe is the biggest stain on his career, and he's had ugly departures from both the Nets and 76ers since. He also missed a lot of time due to injuries during his tenure with those teams, but his stats still look pretty good when he did play. When it came to the playoffs, however, there's not a lot to talk about. 0 trips to the conference finals, still 0 rings. But that's still better than what Russ had been doing. Westbrook's year in Washington was definitely nothing to sneeze at, averaging yet another triple-double on a team that I don't hesitate to describe as abhorrent. They made it to the playoffs miraculously and got disposed of by the 76ers. The next year, he found himself on the Lakers, a spotlight he hadn't quite seen in his long career. If you're a Laker fan, the likelihood is that you saw Russell Westbrook as basketball cancer during his time with the team. This is when his numbers began to plummet, and people started seeing why he had never won a title. The Lakers missed the playoffs in the one full season that he played with them, and to make matters worse for Russ, the Lakers managed to make a conference finals pretty much right after they traded him away. Now, he finds himself with the Clippers, and for the third time in a beautifully poetic turn of events, he's with his best buddy James. 2 players who are cursed to never win a title on a franchise that's also cursed to never win a title. If they win this year, I'm gonna have to eat crow so bad, oh my god. I think now is a great juncture to sit and assess their careers and determine who's greater. You know, I went into this video trying to find which side of the debate I'm on, and honestly, it's not as close as I thought. Harden has had the better career so far, for all the reasons I described, and for all the reasons people are gonna remind me of in the comments. And please, for all the brodies who are watching, tell me why I'm wrong. I love debating people in my comments section. Just bring your A game.